The title Badass is only accessible to certain people. For one to be qualified, you have to possess the following skill sets. You simply need to be tough, intimidating, and uncompromising. Louisiana native Boosie Badazz ticks all the boxes as he occupies for many an enviable spot in hip-hop's Badass Hall of Fame. In today's video, we'll reveal to you some shocking info about Boosie Badazz and his controversial past. Boosie Badazz was born Torrance Hatch and was raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Baton Rouge is a neighborhood that's notorious for drugs and gun violence. His father was a drug addict who struggled with addiction till he died. Some reports have it that he was murdered. His mom was a school teacher who had 8 kids. Boosie has seen it all. Despite all the trials and tribulations, he eventually found fame with his 2009 album, Superbad: The Return of Boosie Badazz. Some would think that with his newfound success at that time, Boosie would be more invested in the music side of things. They thought wrong, because apparently, when you're christened a badass, you owe it to yourself and some people to live up to your name. Boosie isn't disappointed as he built up a catalog of criminal acts over the years and controversial opinions to follow. Keep watching as we'll show you the many faces of Boosie Badazz. Boosie might possess great lyrical prowess as a rapper. What he doesn't have is great parenting skills. You know a man is badass when he had 8 babies from 4 different baby mamas. And guess what? He did all this while he was incarcerated. He's not your regular family guy. He proved this last year on an Instagram live session. He pissed off many people after admitting he got a grown-up to perform on his underage son and nephews. Yes, you heard right. I'm training these boys right. I'm training these boys right. He said during an Instagram live session Monday. Ask any of my nephews. Ask any of them. Ask my son. Yeah, when they was 12, 13, they got head. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be. Hell yeah, I got my son stuck. You yes, a grown woman. Grown, super grown. Check this out. Checked all my nephews out. Super grown. Is she grown? She checked me out. I know what she did to them. She checked me out. That I'm getting them prepared, man. Boosie went on to boast of another of his infamous parenting acts as he claimed he had shown his son how to wear a contraceptive when he was only 10 years old. Yes, that's how I raised him. I don't care what y'all say, he continued. It's better than watching cartoons. That's why they have iPhone 11s. They can watch as much as they want. It's better than them watching cartoons with 2 men kissing. Yeah, it's like that. Yeah, we raised him different. That's just how it is. The rapper had made similar comments in a post back in 2017 when he said he was getting his 14-year-old son for his birthday. Boosie later addressed the controversies during an interview, claiming he was just clowning on Instagram. His opinions naturally did not sit well with fans, but not that the man cares. This wouldn't be the first time he caught heavy heat giving his opinion on kids. There was that time when he went after Dwayne Wade's child. 2020 was the year when Boosie gave badass opinions that rattled everyone. In February 2020, he was slammed for comments he made towards Zaya Wade, the 12-year-old daughter of basketball player Dwayne Wade, who came out as transgender with the support of her parents. The rapper, however, remained firm on his opinion despite the opposition. In an interview with Baller Alert, Boosie was told he caused controversy over his statements about Dwayne Wade's daughter. His son, the rapper interrupted, that's just how I felt. People gotta understand that's how I feel. Even my mama got on my yesterday. My mama called me early in the morning and got on my talking about stay off social media. Dwayne Wade, meanwhile, was in a forgiving mood. He had this to say. So Boosie, all the people who got something to say about my kids, I thank you because you're allowing the conversation to keep going forward. Lil Boosie had a run-in with the law in 2008 after he was arrested on charges of illegal possession of a firearm and drugs in his hometown of Baton Rouge. As he pulled up close to the cops, Boosie was high in the clouds. The police officials could already perceive the odor of coming from the rapper's white Dodge Challenger. When they approached his car, Boosie Badazz, like the rebel he is, refused to get out of the car. He went all GTA right here. He channeled his inner Tommy Vercetti, and then as he attempted to drive away, he failed woefully in his adopted career. Boosie was charged with possession of a weapon and resisting an officer. Boosie was arrested alongside former NFL player Antonio Allen, who was also facing drug and gun possession charges. The drug charge would have landed him in prison for 20 years with a mandatory minimum of 5 years, but the Louisiana native got lucky. Boosie had to be electronically monitored and to clear all concert dates at that time. What we learned from that episode was no technology can keep Boosie down. He was at his notorious form when it was discovered that he violated the terms of his arrest. The Baton Rouge rapper was placed under house arrest with an ankle monitor, but the ankle monitor showed that on more than one occasion, Mr. Torrance Hatch violated the terms of his release. The judge, who was not in a generous mood, doubled his sentence. In 2011, Boosie was sentenced to 8 years after pleading guilty to the drug charges. The following year, his attorneys were able to argue that the drug ring charge was a setup. The informant offers to provide for Boosie and had him an addict in exchange for his help. He was released in 2014 and remained on parole until 2018. In 2011, Boosie took it a step further when he got accused of murder. In 2010, Boosie, who's no stranger to drama, got accused of being involved in the shooting of a 35-year-old man who goes by the name Terry Boyd in his own house. Prosecutors allege that Boosie Badazz hired 17-year-old Marlo Mike to take out his ops, Terry Boyd. What makes the situation very strange is the fact that Terry Boyd is the brother of one of Lil Boosie's baby mamas. It was said that at that time, if Lil Boosie was convicted, the death penalty would not be out of the question. However, Boosie did beat the murder charge. Boosie's baby mama, Rachel Wagner, who was also the sister of the victim, testified that he wasn't responsible for the murder and that the duo were never beefing. However, recently, Tori has switched sides. In a video posted on Instagram, she speculated that Boosie might have had a role to play in the murder. But some fans believe that she might have said this because of the custody battle that she and Boosie had. Also, on the day he was charged with this murder, Boosie just had to prove that he is indeed a badass. He made things more interesting that same day. The rapper was also indicted on multiple drug and conspiracy charges for smuggling huge amounts of in prison. He's indeed an astute businessman. He featured his girlfriend, a prison guard, and an inmate in this scheme. This collaboration proved as a failure as they were found out and charged as co-conspirators. In addition to the murder charges, prosecutors believe the rapper might have been involved in at least 5 other deaths. The Baton Rouge rapper maintained his innocence when asked if he had anything to say to his fans. However, the lyrics of the track, I Know, indicated otherwise, as it carried violent and threatening messages such as, so put your fist up in your pockets and the bullets in the chamber. And, I'm itching to kill, give me a reason, I will. I'll end up gripping a steel. Boosie was at that point in the midst of releasing his last album, Superbad, The Return of Boosie Badazz. Boosie's always had that gangsta era around him. In 2017, when Tupac Shakur's biopic All Eyes on Me was released, he made a point of that. Most rappers want to claim the title as the new Pac. While some don't pull it off, the comparisons between Pac and Boosie Badazz is a bit more believable for some fans. While the artist has always maintained a deep respect for Pac, in that same year of the movie, the 41-year-old puts his gangster reputation against Pac's and claims he's the biggest gangster. While we might never be sure of this, we can agree that Boosie has given us a lot of materials over the years to agree with him. He reinforced this with his opinion on Tekashi 6ix9ine. After Tekashi testified against his 9 straight gangsta members, Boosie had some interesting things to say about him. Boosie predicted Tekashi would be killed within a month of his release from prison. Well, this prophecy failed, but he had updated his comments on the issue. In an interview with Vlad TV, Boosie called out members of 6ix9ine's former 9 Straight Bloods gang to handle the task of getting rid of Tekashi. It ain't really on me to speak about, but that's a in the face to the people who got that time and all their family. Boosie said, while discussing the other 9 Straight members who were locked up alongside 6ix9ine in the federal indictment. If they don't do something, they that's just period. You let like that, throw away all your people. If y'all don't do nothing, y'all He was quick to say it was a suggestion though. He stated that if 6ix9ine had done this to him and his people, Tekashi would have had graveyard conditions and would have put his family in danger. It is amazing for somehow Boosie Badazz continues to weather the storm despite his controversial takes on the latest happenings in the rap game. He weighed in on the controversy surrounding DaBaby and his homophobic comments this year. DaBaby went on a homophobic rant on stage at the Rollin' Loud Fest Sunday at Hard Rock Stadium in Miami Gardens. This caused a huge uproar on social media and sparked reactions among celebrities. Rapper T.I. came to DaBaby's defense, while singer Dua Lipa and others, including Elton John, condemned his comments. Boosie went on Instagram Live to share his thoughts, Boosie style, only that he used his platform to also go after Lil Nas X. Badazz has made it a habit of talking about Lil Nas over the last few months. In July, after Lil Nas joked about performing nude at the VMAs, Badazz went on Instagram Live and said what perhaps only Boosie is capable of. If I'm at the awards and he go up there naked, I'ma drag his ass off stage and beat his Boosie then went on to defend his statements in an episode of The Breakfast Club, telling Charlamagne the God, if you're trying to raise children, would you be cool with sitting there and trying to watch Nas X go up there and take his clothes off? If you do, Charlamagne, you're a part of the problem.